Okay, looking at chapter 6 of Birch Bark House today. Chapter 6, Pinch. Big Pinch got in trouble and Omachias was glad. Here's how it happened. So this kind of tells us a lot about what's going on. If Omachias is happy that Big Pinch is in trouble, then we can kind of make the inference that she's still not really his biggest fan. One day, Mama found a bush of late-bearing choke cherries. They were plump and so ripe that they had turned a deep blackish-purple color. She picked until her fingers turned red-black at the tips. When she returned, bearing her load of berries, Mama's eye lit on Big Pinch. "I have a job for you," she said. His eyes got beady and his lip turned out. He pouted at her, but she paid his lowered looks no mind. So he does not seem real thrilled that he has a job. "I'm spreading these berries on the bark sheaves so they will dry," she went on, and then she proceeded to spread out the berries on clean birch bark in the warmest patch of sun she could find. "You watch them carefully now, Big Pinch. Keep the birds away. Listen, my son." Mama narrowed her eyes at Pinch so that he would know he was trusted with an important task. "This is our winter seasoning and food. You'll be glad of them when we are hungry in Little Spirit Moon." So they need this so that they have food in the winter. So that's why she picked so many berries, and she's telling Pinch, "Watch them because we're going to need them." She gave Big Pinch a long, ferny branch to wave and made him sit next to the berries. Then she turned her back on him and went out to the lake with Grandma to check their fish nets. She took Nemo along with her, put him carefully in his Tikinigan, petted and kissed him. Angeline and Omachias were sent to town. They were to sweep out and prepare the family cabin for the winter move. Big Pinch was left alone. So the family's getting ready to move for the winter, and the girls are going to get their place ready. So Big Pinch was by himself watching all these berries. It was hard being Big Pinch, harder than his sisters would ever know. They didn't understand how good it felt to fill a stomach that so rarely got full. They didn't realize how good it felt to shove handfuls of berries into his greedy mouth. Pinch looked at the berries. Bored, he shooed away a few small chickadees. Andeg sat with him on a low branch, but Andeg knew better than to eat the berries. If only, thought Pinch sadly, those berries didn't look so delicious. So Big Pinch is really wanting to eat these berries. Mama had found a patch of choke cherries that were much more luscious than most. These were the biggest, fattest berries Pinch had ever seen. It didn't seem as though it would hurt to eat a few. Pinch sneaked one, then a few more, then a handful. Andeg cawed 3 times and seemed to disapprove. So Pinch started eating these berries, and he just keeps eating more, and even the bird knows that he should not be doing this. Pinch made a face at the bird. The berries tasted as good as they looked. Better, richer, blacker, without that mouth-puckering choke cherry taste. He might just have another handful. Well, he thought not long after he finished that bunch, a handful more would not hurt. And then, just to balance the look of the berries, he took more from one side, the other. He spread the berries out, and then the bark looked full again. Pinch waited. The sun blossomed slowly, so slowly, and it took such a long time to dry the berries. Pinch tried to amuse himself, but with nobody there to bother, he was at a loss. So he's trying to hide the fact that he ate a lot of these berries, and since there's nobody around for him to annoy, he's really bored. Andeg didn't want to play and flew out of reach. There was nobody to annoy except himself. Another handful, another and another. Pinch rearranged the berries once again, and now there seemed to be plenty of berries on the bark. They were well spaced, it was true, but the bark sheaves looked full. He kept nibbling, spacing, arranging, and rearranging until sleep overcame him, and he crawled up tight and nodded away. So Big Pinch ate the majority of the berries and tried to hide it, and then went to sleep. "Pinch!" It was Mama's threatening voice. She was standing tall over the berries, and she wasn't the least bit fooled by Pinch's berry arrangement. What happened? Where are the berries I picked, you sleepy boy? Pinch woke, jumped up, rubbing his eyes, blinking. It was true. There were very few berries on the bark sheaves. Had he eaten so many? How could he? Big Pinch was horrified and embarrassed at himself. Pinch! Mama was using her very angry voice now, and Pinch felt so terrible that his brain raced and he seized suddenly upon a blaming lie. Andeg ate them. Bad Andeg. Ooh, so now he's lying. Pinch pointed up, and sure enough, Andeg, sitting out of reach on a high branch, certainly looked guilty as he glared down and preened his new growth of feathers. Mama, furious that her work was all for nothing, shook her fist in the air and called out to Andeg, "Come on down and eat the rest of them." Andeg, not understanding, hopped down to nearly within her reach and cocked his head in a friendly way as though to inquire, "Are you sure?" So Pinch is blaming this on Andeg. So now Mama's mad at Andeg and is pretty much telling him, "We ate most of them, come down and finish them." Andeg, not really sure what's going on, so he's just kind of like, really? Yeah. Mama took Andeg's friendliness as a sign that he really had eaten up the berries. Mama grabbed a stick and shook it hard. Andeg croaked in alarm. With a shout, she threw back her arm, took sudden aim at the bird, and hurled the stick at Andeg. Ka! Andeg was hit. Oh, so Mama's mad. She is throwing stuff at him. Although not seriously hurt, he jumped fearfully from branch to branch and fluttered out of reach, and then farther, farther away until he was lost from view. "See what you made me do?" Mama called, but immediately she sat down, sorry, knowing that the fault lay strictly with herself. Again, even though Andeg made her mad, this was her choice on how she reacted, and now she feels bad. "I must get the better of myself. I must. She shook her head. How could I? Now her daughter's pet was frightened, and even if he had eaten all of the berries she worked so hard to pick, Mama loved the crow and never meant to scare him. How betrayed by humans the bird must feel, she thought guiltily, and here she had trained him to eat from her hand. Now he was frightened off. "Come back," she called hopefully into the woods. "Ombe!" So now Mama feels really bad about what she did. But the bird, still crying out in confusion, only fled deeper into the woods. Mama sat down sadly, ashamed of herself. That was how Omachias found her mother when she returned from her town errand. Mama told what had happened, how Andeg had eaten the berries Pinch was watching, and how she had gotten angry, frightened Andeg off, how she was now sorry to have done so and would help Omachias find the bird. "Surely he will come to you," said Mama. So they're going to go find Andeg. Just as she was explaining why it was she had lost her temper and how hard she had worked to find those berries, Big Pinch groaned. "What's wrong?" Mama asked. Oh, Big Pinch lay down holding his stomach. "It hurts. It hurts." "Sa!" Mama bent over her boy, inspecting him. "A stomach ache, huh?" She was immediately suspicious. Gently but firmly, she took his hands in hers, uncurled them, saw the telltale juice marks of bruised choke cherries that darkened his fingertips, then the pitiful, berry-stained smile that sealed his guilt. So Pinch ate too many and got sick, and now he got caught in a lie. "Pinch," she said, and this time her voice was worse than angry. It was disappointed. "You lied. The ghost foot carries off liars in the night. As for your stomach ache, there is no medicine but enduring the consequences of your greed. You'll have to suffer, Pinch. Maybe this will teach you." With that, she and Omachias left him to Angeline and went off into the woods seeking Andeg.